Today I'm going to be playing Doom Eternal and trying to get the Platinum Trophy, which consists of 34 trophies mainly obtained throughout the game's campaign. The trophy list really only requires one playthrough of the game if you do everything right, and I mean everything, as you will see from my mistakes, and today's video will show you all what not to do when going for the Doom Eternal Platinum Trophy. I began the Platinum journey by launching up a new game on the Extra Lives mode, which is suggested by the guide online to do the Extra Lives trophy called running up the high score after your first playthrough. I, however, was really not trying to play through this game twice, so I decided to try and do it on my first playthrough. This would mean I needed to finish off the game with more than 10 lives left over and every single collectible found. The extra 10 lives wouldn't be a challenge at all since you can play on any difficulty, and I decided upon the easiest one since I have no ball hair. Man, this would be a great time for a Manscaped ad. Too bad they didn't hit me back up like that one girl I went after in senior year of high school. That's what I'm saying. Anyways, we begin Doom Eternal by getting sent right on into the action. The entire world is being run over by demons and hell at the moment, and the only solution to this is to kill the 3 hell priests who sort of run things in this world of hell, or America as we call it in reality. Daddy Doom Guy manages to take out one within 3 minutes of the game's story, and Lord have mercy, my balls are already shaking. I'm about to bust within the first few seconds of gameplay just like your dad does in bed. I found my first weapon mod, which is a major part of this game and trophy list. You get around 2 different mods on every gun in this game and have to level them all up for a trophy at the end of the story. Doom is one of those classic franchises which has a very unique combat and directional flow to the story within. Basically throughout the entire game, all you do is go from combat section to combat section, and after numerous of those, you get to a plot point. Within all the high action packed combat, I also got a ton of collectibles, which was a major pain in my ass throughout this entire game. Even with numerous guides, this is still awful, and probably one of the worst collectible lists I've ever had to get in a game. Not quite as bad as Jedi Fallen Order, but if I had a choice to abort, I still would. Unlike your parents don't have that option anymore since you're living and breathing. I will admit though that this game has one of the most fluid gameplay I've ever seen, especially among newer games. Then again, this did come out in 2020, so can it really be called new anymore? No. Okay, maybe not, but this game is still super smooth with the glory kills, and it really reminds me of glory holes, which are a lot of fun also. After not stealthily strolling our way through the demon's fortress, we take an elevator up to the other 2 hell priests, and they are shocked to see me. Just like my ex-girlfriend is whenever she sees me in public, and just like Batman, I love showing up at unexpected times to ruin her healing process. Anyways, the hell priests are in awe, and I just throw down the poor lad's head on the floor. So, head. This is a different outcome than usual.
So no head?
Both the other 2 hell priests just leave the Discord call and get replaced by a much more established character. Now this son of a gun definitely looks like he could go at least 2 rounds with Doom Guy's special gun, if you know what I mean. Its name is Con Maker, and yes, I called it an it, so I don't get canceled again after my recent videos involving Christina from Mr. Beast. My apologies for those out there who took things too seriously. You're weird also. The con guy basically just tells us we have no chance and tries to make us feel small. But he doesn't have to say anything because every time I take my pants off, I feel small anyways. I had enough of his trash talk, so I just strolled out through the cool black hole that appeared right in front of me. The last time I saw a black hole appear so fast, I was at Florida State University. No comment on what happened next. But we did get a trophy for the completion of the game's first mission, which is mission number 1 of 13. Honestly, this game's campaign isn't super long, but doing 2 playthroughs is awful since it low-key gets boring because the story isn't super developed if we were being honest. I mean, for God's sake, the main character doesn't say a single word until the very end of the game. We ended up back on the mothership, and it looks just as I imagined in my wet dreams last night. I strolled over to a Sentinel Crystal, which is basically just an item that gives you a permanent boost to your fighting skills within the game. I used it and got another trophy. On the next mission, we are in a much nicer looking place. You know, there's less burning villages and war crimes displayed right into the screen, so hopefully my CPM on this video will reach above $1 this time. Anyways, I got a trophy for doing a lot of glory kills, which shouldn't even be an achievement since it makes me horny doing these, and I do it for free. Later on, we got introduced to a crazy new feature in the game, the dash ability. Wow, I know, that is so cool. How could the developers at Bethesda even think of such a unique invention? I truly thought their studio's peak would have been with the launch of Skyrim 12 years ago. Super happy to see they are still piloting the gaming industry into new ages. Yeah, anyways, this game's movement is more bipolar than a happy woman who's on a period. I swear to God, it is so fluid and works 1 minute, and then I can't do a single jump to save my life the next. Throughout this entire game, there was many instances where I quite literally almost just gave up for a minute because of how retarded the parkour is within. Anyways, we have a talk with Daddy on his high chair, and he tells us we can't take this relic with us on our journey, and we aren't allowed to kill any more big bad boys since it's against the law. But little does Daddy know, you only truly break the law when you get caught, so we just go completely ignore everything he says and truly say to hell with it. Get it? It's a game about hell. Okay, I'll just jump out my window now. Oh my god! Sometime later, I ended up in a purple goo fight, and for whatever reason, the purple goo doesn't let you jump out of it, and you are stuck in the same miserable state until you eventually can leave. I could have sworn this is the same thing my ex-girlfriend did to me last year, but eventually you get out of the sticky situation and can be a free man again. Just like Donald Trump after his timeless mugshot. I found my first Slayer key in the game, which is a unique item that opens up the Slayer gate and lets you go fight a ton of enemies who have no respect for the fine arts and just constantly attack your booty like you're a TikToker who just turned 18. Anyways, while in the Slayer gate, I got a combat trophy for some random thing. I don't even know what it was, and then I beat every enemy in there for the Slayer gate completion trophy, which makes that 1 out of 6 Slayer gates completed in this game. That also ended up being the end of the level, but I didn't get any trophies for beating it, which is depressing. Almost as much as your dad's pullout game. I guess this game doesn't give you a trophy for every mission completed because I went like 2 hours straight without a single trophy while playing this game. But we finally ended up in a new mission, and boy oh boy does this level already look hotter than my Hershey squirts I had for a year back in 2017. Anyways, this mission had a lot of combat on it, which isn't really saying something since pretty much this whole entire game is like that. But we did get introduced to these super fun new floating parkour walls, which very quickly became written down onto my 13 reasons why list. The show may have ended, but I think I can bring it back with less than 1 week of the most normal trophy hunting moments. Anyways, I basically just kept on falling to my death like Kermit, but at least my profile picture is an accurate representation. A little bit later on in the mission, I ended up actually getting lost, and I honestly think I might have just been mentally retarded at this point. They say video games turn your brain to mush, but I think it might have just been the fact that I had 4 wisdom teeth pulled out a day before I played this game, which didn't help the thought process one bit. I also don't remember when this picture was taken, but Lord have mercy, is it so sexy. And I think you guys should just make it your profile picture while you're at it. But I eventually found my way, and right after nearly committing a crime, we get introduced to a brand new enemy, which would actually end up sticking with us the entire game like an annoying ration or penis our whole life. The Doom Hunter. He has a shield on him, and you have to spam that little thing so much that it just falls off. So basically you have to jerk him off until he busts, and then you can truly take him out. Ladies, take notes. They actually gave him a whole ass boss fight health bar, which I find hilarious knowing how easy it becomes to kill him later on in the game. But I guess it was a big deal since we were still early on, but maybe it wasn't because the developers literally threw 2 of them at us 1 minute later to open our gaping buttholes even more. Fun fact about gaping buttholes for you, you can actually fit a whole raccoon in your ass if you needed to hide one going through airport security. After the killing of both of the big boys, we got a cutscene with another Hell Priest. And I don't have a clue how these guys ever got into power because they have got to be the most pussy-ass villains I've ever seen in my life. I guess the royalty family for Hellspawn has its own issues now because we just chopped off another one's head and collected it for safekeeping. Also giving us another trophy for doing so. Back on the mothership in between missions, I upgraded my suit powers and got a trophy for maxing out one of the categories. And then I used 8 Sentinel batteries throughout the game to unlock another trophy on the good old mothership. Now we finally reached the part of this game where things really start to turn up all hot and bothered like. I sort of zoomed through this game's story here and there, but it's honestly hard to make a video out of its campaign since the story is so damn simple. And if you have at least 5 functional brain cells, you can understand what we are doing. I got a trophy for using the Sentinel crystals again, and fully upgraded my health, yielding me another trophy. At the end of this one mission, there's a really fun fight section, and I managed to collect 20 1-up lives at this point in the game, giving me a trophy called Extra Lives. Once we reach a climax, we are allowed to leave the level, and I got a trophy for it. But reaching a climax was enough for me. The next mission was finally a change of pace and featured one of the easiest collectible levels in the game. You get a flashback to Doom Guy's past and then get thrown into an arena in an epic boss fight with this huge monster who was definitely compensating with that massive shield of his. After like 20 minutes of fighting him, which was actually moderately difficult since he just blocks nearly all your attacks, I killed him, and then the poor little Hell Priest just showed up behind me, and he was probably about to touch me in an unconsensual way. Thankfully, I took his head clean off his shoulders and saved myself from everlong PTSD. That makes 3 Hell Priests down and still head. I also got a trophy, but that's lame compared to getting all this priest head. Yeah, I'll stop now. I ended up beating all the Slayer gates in the game, which wasn't even a challenge since on the lowest difficulty, it's practically impossible to lose these unless you actually just suck at the game. Now, I know I'm not the smartest Doom gamer out there, but if you can't do this, then please comment so I can make fun of you. Anyways, I got a trophy for that. On this mission, there is a secret encounter, which is another type of collectible. Typically, it's a very easy one since all you need to do is kill a few enemies in a short amount of time. However, this one secret encounter contains a martyr. Which is 100%, and I mean 100%, this game's most difficult enemy to fight. The dude literally just holds his shield up the entire fight, and you have to perfectly time your shotgun to kill him. I had to look up a tutorial on how to kill these guys in a fast manner since I could not complete this encounter for the life of me. And it only had 3 enemies, which is just sad. But I finally did it, and this is more of an accomplishment than getting the Platinum Trophy if we were being honest. Lord have mercy, right here is where it all fell apart. Doom Eternal has some very dumb collectibles, but none is worse than this one right here. You have to drop down into a shaft that you cannot climb out of or or go back from and get this collectible first try. Now, since I had no clue where it was, I missed and unknowingly also screwed myself out of this game's platinum trophy. There's a bug in this game that makes replaying missions on extra life difficulty not possible to do, no matter what state of game you're in. And since all the collectible trophies require 100% completion on a single save slot, this one collectible I missed would require me to complete the entire game all over again. I did not know this at the time, so I just kept on playing and praying it would let me go back at some point. Anyways, after crying myself to sleep, I got another trophy for the completion of that mission, and just seeing the 24 out of 25 exploration stat made me want to end it all. But since we were already here, I decided to just push on with the story, receiving trophies for using all the Slayer Gate keys I won and unlocking this new weapon on the mothership that has been taunting my lustful eyes just like that one girl at school. Then I maxed out all my suit upgrades for another easy trophy, which comes naturally since I'm so sexy. And we finally got to have a boss fight with the Con Maker, which we have had beef with for 4 years since the very beginning of this game. Honestly, the fight wasn't too bad, but it was a tad bit annoying here and there because he makes the whole entire room all electrified and you will literally just die if you don't move to higher ground. After beating the boss, we got a trophy for having such a succulent butthole. And finally, we have reached the final mission in this game where we are back on Earth and it looks just how I remembered it. I actually didn't miss a single Codex collectible this entire game, so I got a trophy for that collectible's completion. However, I still missed that one toy collectible back on that one mission, so it really doesn't matter. The last boss fight in Doom Eternal is with this giant naked demon guy, and it actually takes forever to kill him since you have to shoot off all of his armor and then all of his different flesh and muscles. Low-key, this is super unrealistic game. Nobody's that tall. Eventually, I killed him, and it wasn't really that hard, which is hilarious since it was the final boss of the game. And I still think that secret encounter with that one dude was way worse. Anyways, I received 2 trophies, one for beating the game, and then another for beating it on extra life difficulty with more than 10 lives left. Now, usually at this point in a platinum trophy list, you are allowed to go back to any mission or area in the game to polish it up. But for me, this was not the case because for whatever damn reason, the Bethesda developers never fixed the fact that you can't replay missions from the mission select screen with the extra lives difficulty option. Like, the option isn't even there, it's just a blank screen in your mothership. So I couldn't go back and get the one collectible I missed or grind out some mastery mods for my guns. Basically meaning I would need to invest another day of my life into this game's dumb trophy list to get the platinum trophy. But instead of wasting my time on that, I made the executive decision at Its Ilusion Studios to just make this video and get the platinum trophy for it when I do all the Doom games for a different video in the future. Also, I really want to start the Dying Light 2 platinum video since you guys got the light goal on that from about a week ago. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I apologize for not actually getting the platinum on this game, but like, come on. Is it really my fault? I mean, it is, but is it really my fault?